Preaching this morning are three of our saints, Mary Hewitt, Lois Robinson, and Bill Schmote. Mary Hewitt, was here someplace, there she is, walked in her 50th crop walk this year. There have been 50 crop walks, so you do the math. She's done them all. She is known for her service and work with food pantry and anything else that we do that helps other people. Lois Robinson has been a part of 8 different UCC churches. I understand that this is not because she's an especially difficult person to get along with, but she was once married to a minister and grew up, that's part of the life, but is a beloved here. And Bill Schmote, who is one of our most delightful and oldest members. We now listen to their wisdom and their love.
Oh, that I started giving, and I can't just remember when I first had a job how much I gave. But the first real solid memory that I have is when I was married in 1947. I had been a very active member of First English Reformed Church, and I was marrying someone from St. John's Evangelical Church. So, and he was not active in his church. I said, I will come to your church, but you have to come with me. And we had to work out a budget. I made $40 a week, and he made $40 a week. And there had been tithers in my family, and his family was very casual in what they gave. So we worked out a compromise that we would give 5%. Well, this was an old German congregation that we belonged to, and they published a list every year of what everyone gave. Whoa. And I was shocked and dismayed to see that we were the 3rd largest giver.
Ooh.
Wow.
Mary?
Well, I was taught that you give to the church, and I babysat. When I started babysitting, I would give maybe $1 a month, because that was a big deal. Because my parents didn't give me an allowance. I had to earn my money. And when my husband and I were first married, we were living in Texas, but I still wanted to keep my membership at the Congregational Church in Carpentersville. So we would send an annual amount of money, and it wasn't a whole lot, but it was a lot to us because he was a student and I was working, and we were poor. We only had one car. I took the bus back and forth to work, and it was, but what we gave was a generous amount that we felt it was. Thank God it wasn't published.
Mm-hmm. Bill, what do you remember about giving?
About giving? Well, we used to, even in Sunday school classes, we gave, you might say, a certain amount of change.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, as far as big amounts go, we didn't at that time.
Uh-huh. That was back in the days when a quarter was real money.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, when we made $20 a week.
Mm-hmm. That was good sum. Was there a person in your life that influenced you in terms of what you give or how you approach giving?
Well, when I was 5 and my parents lost their home in 1932 in the Depression, they stopped going to church. Well, my grandparents, my dad's parents, couldn't stand the fact that their granddaughter was going to grow up without a church. So I went to church with my grandma Hart to the, United Brethren Church. This was in Freeport. And my dad said, that church is about nothing but hell and damnation. And I think he was right, because I never heard anything about love, but I heard a lot about sin. And, but I didn't pay attention at all. I was just so happy to be there with my grandmother. And she was a tither. They had lost their money in the Depression, and she would have only $5 to live on, but you can be sure she always gave her 50 cents.
Wow.
And she was my model.
My parents always talked about how much they were going to give at home, at the dinner table, and they encouraged us kids to give to Sunday school. I gave my little change, but they also gave us some money to give to them. But you went to church and you were supposed to put something in the offering plate, even if it was, because they passed it down the rows. You were expected to put something in.
Well, that's the way I grew up too, because my mother doled it out how much we had to go and give to the church. So it wasn't very much at that time, because I had a sister and 2 brothers, and so there was 6 of us. And my dad worked for the Illinois Hydraulic at that time, and his was the only wages coming in.
But your mom shaped your understanding of giving.
Yeah, she's the one that kept us as far as giving goes.
There is the understanding that you don't boast in what you give. Even in the German churches where they publish the list, and I've served one of those.
Did you?
Yeah,
Really?
they had stopped doing it by that time, but it was part of the annual report, was you saw what everyone had given. It was a surprise. There's this understanding that you don't give with an expectation of reward. This is not like is done in some political circles, or you give to get. You give without expecting an immediate reward.
No quid pro quo.
No quid pro quo. But most people who give talk about how they do receive. They feel good about their giving, and they are rewarded in unexpected ways. Can you talk to us about experiences you've had of that?
Well, I always feel like I want to do my part to keep my church going. And these days, of course, we're so aware of all the needs all over the world, and I give to other organizations too, and it makes me happy to do so. I think that's all I've got to say on that.
Okay. Mary?
I've given at Soup Kitchen, I want to say 30 plus years, and I don't do it every week, but I do it at least once a month. And the reward you get back by doing, and the friendships that you make with your fellow workers, there's a big part of my life is doing, and I do enjoy it. I enjoy working the food pantry, and some of these people at the Soup Kitchen, they know you after they see you year after year, and they're always pleasant to you, and there is that great feeling that you get from doing and giving, and it's just a part of you.
when Margaret and I first were married, we gave as much as we could, but we were, as far as that goes, well off, and we kept increasing it over the years, and I think we give a substantial amount at this time.
And do you feel good about that?
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah.
So why is that?
It's good, well, it's good to know that you can give something to the church and it's going somewhere.
Is there any particular advice that you would give to people in their 30s about giving?
Well, God is so generous to us, and I do feel that He expects us to keep passing it on, so that I think it's sort of like a circulation. I don't think you'll ever be short of money just because you gave too much. It always comes back to you. Anyway, it's amazing how it does.
Mary?
Don't the 30s, I hope that they're coming to church, they want to bring their children to church, and I hope they realize that even the smallest amount, whatever they can give, they need to give, because it does come back 3 times fold. And they do need to support the church. And I know it's hard with a family, but everybody can say they've been through it, and that they do need to think about keeping the church alive, and they'll get their gifts back.
Well, when Margaret and I were first married, we were pretty good as far as 2 salaries go. And so we always gave a substantial amount to the church because they needed that to keep it going. And then I think we did well.
Well, we thank you all for what you've shared with us. Any other last words that you want to mention? Well, this is where the preacher says amen, and we thank you all.
Amen. Yeah.
Amen. And thank you, Mary